I am so pumped today. Why am I pumped? Because I managed to get my hands on one of these. That's right, Garrison Bros Cowboy Edition 2023. And what has me so pumped about this? It is Hazmat. That's right, Hazmat, baby. Was it worth the wait? Well, let's find out. How about them Cowboys? This is my first Hazmat.
It's a hazmat suit.
And what better way than to have the oldest legal Texas distillery as my first. Garrison Bros is producing some amazing certified Texas whiskeys. Now, Texas whiskey is different and may not be for everyone, but Garrison Bros are knocking it out of the park with some of their yearly releases. And this Cowboy is the top of the line. It is their premium edition every year. Now, I recently did a review on their 2022 release and I loved it. So if you haven't seen that, I will leave a link for that right here. There have been some good reviews on this Cowboy and they have come out recently, but they were all from samples sent and I haven't seen any directly from a bottle. Now, I hear sometimes samples can taste different than the bottles, so this is my review directly from the bottle.
Stop spraying! Give me the bottle!
Before we go on, I'm gonna pop this open and we're gonna pour a little bit out and let it breathe. One thing I need to say though, as you can see, I opened this. And not because I opened it to taste before. I opened it and I already had done this review. And once again, I had audio issues. The worst case is, I have to taste it again.
Oh, poor me.
Here we go, let's pop this open. Great pop, let's pour some of this out. That just smells so good. I'm gonna move this over to the side for a little while, let it breathe. Because I'm doing a review, of course I'm gonna share. Why? Because sharing is caring, and of course,
This is the way.
now, I still need a name for this new series, and I've got a lot of really creative suggestions, but I would still like some more, so eventually all you guys can help me vote on which is the best one. Please leave in the comments below any suggestions you may have. Also, stay tuned to find out how you could be a lucky winner for a sample of this Texas Hazmat whiskey. Every year, Garrison Bros releases the most highly coveted bourbon whiskeys in America, Cowboy Bourbon.
I want to party with you, cowboy.
This incredible bourbon has been recognized with numerous platinum and gold awards at several prestigious spirits competitions. They select special bottles and set them aside for a couple years later for further maturation. Now, it's the ultimate ambrosia.
Just an ambrosia of primal sensation.
I saw a really good video on how they do their selection and how they get these bottles ready. Now, if I can find that video, I will leave it in the links below. So hopefully I can, because it was a great video to watch if you have a little bit of time. Let's get into the bottle. This year release was 9,600 bottles of 750 ml size. Every barrel used in this release was at least 6 years old. It is a wheated mash bill, but no other details were actually given. It is bottle barrel proof, straight from the barrel, unfiltered, uncut. And of course, if you look right there, it's 149 proof. That's Hazmat, baby.
Excellent. You have your own hazmat suits?
The MSRP on this is $250. I believe last year was like $200 to $220, so it has gone up a little bit. But it does come in this nice box with a clear front. Now, the funny thing is, somebody mentioned to me that inside it looks like a coffin. I did hear that they had issues getting their boxes this year, getting them in on time, and that was the reason for a little bit of a later release. This was already released at the distilleries before. It took a while to hit at the liquor stores around the areas. Let's look at my bottle a little bit closer. This bottle is a corn variety food grade #1 white from farms in South Texas, aged in oak, distilled and barreled in 2017. My bottle number is 3958. And the release date on this is 2023. So my number is 3958 out of the 9,600. We're going to be using my standard scoring review of scoring 1 through 10 on aromas, flavors, complexity, mouthfeel, finish, and of course, would I buy it again? Now, I do already have my numbers from the other day, but I'm not going to pay attention to them. I'm going to see if my numbers change any from yesterday to today.
With every new day, there's fresh hope.
So let me get this out and let's look at this. Look how dark that is. That is one of the darkest whiskeys I have. And as you can see, look at this. You can't even see through that bottle. It's super hard to see through. It's nice and dark in there. As we look at this and we give it a little SJ, you can see that it takes a moment for those legs to develop. It actually sticks really well to the glass and it takes a moment. There they are, now they're running. So let's do that again and let's see. Can you, oh, you see that? I spilled a little bit on the outside there, but can you see that? The legs are barely starting to run.
I was running.
So it sticks really well to the glass, but let's go in. Let's go in for that aroma. Oh, man. Smells really good. Amazing enough, for 140.9 proof, you don't get hit with the alcohol very much. And this is my first smell of the night. This is my first drink of the night. Probably my only drink of the night, really. This has a very distinct aroma. Now, you smell up in the front, I smell honey. And they have a honey version of Garrison Brothers. And that's kind of, it smells a little bit like that. Not as strong as that honey, but I do smell that.
Hello, honey.
Hi.
I also smell like a dense caramel and a lot of like candied nuts, you know, candied pecans, candied walnuts. Oh my goodness, it smells extremely good. There is a little hint of vanilla, but I'm not getting much of that oakiness that you would expect with something like this. So for the nose, I'm gonna give it 7.5. So now let's go in for that initial taste, that flavors that hit you initially. So let's go for that. Remember, I've not had anything to drink, so my palate has not been acclimated, but let's go in. Definitely at a 140.9 proof, it does start off a little hot for that first taste. Now, it's not extremely hot. I've had others that are lower proof that are a lot hotter than that, but I do get that. But the nice thing about this, man, it coats the tongue very nicely. So with this initial, you actually get a little bit like of a fruit, of a little bit kind of a plum flavor, but you also get some chocolate. Like it's almost a cocoa powder I can feel on my tongue.
So, cocoa?
Yes, Coco.
There is a lot of earthiness, like a balanced earthiness to this with roasted pecans. So that smell that you get of the candy pecans or the candy almonds or like candy nuts actually is in there in that first taste, along with some of that chocolate in there as well. There is a little bit of spice, but it's not very strong right now. And I think, you know, once we go in for that second taste, I'll start getting more of these flavors. They'll start evolving in my tongue and I'll be able to taste them better. For initial flavor, I'm gonna give it a 7. Let's go in for complexity. How does this evolve on the tongue? So let's go in for that second drink and let that sit there for just a second. Love the way it just coats the mouth. I mean, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but yes, it coats the mouth very well. Now I'm getting a little bit of that oakiness I didn't taste in the first one. That burn wasn't really there like it was in the first one. I just think my tongue wasn't acclimated. I mean, starting you off at 140, anything is probably not the way to go. You probably want something a little bit softer, just kind of acclimate your tongue, but I went from 0 to that. But the burn wasn't really there. You still get that candied pecans and walnuts on this. Now, as I said, there's a little bit of spice, so you do get a little bit of cinnamon in there, but I also do taste vanilla. The vanilla is starting to come through towards the back of my palate. So I'm getting that kind of chocolate candied nuts in the front.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
Kind of going towards the cinnamon, kind of little spice with the vanilla ending at the end. So overall, it's going through the whole palate, and I'm already feeling the Texas hug down. I'm liking this a lot already. So for the complexity, I'm gonna give it a 7. Now, let's check out the mouthfeel. Let's check out the thickness and the viscosity of this. As I was showing you earlier, it sticks to the glass very well, so it has some good viscosity on that. But let me go in for that drink. I like that. A little bit different now. A little bit of a different taste that I got. So this is very, very thick. Very thick on the tongue. Sticks to the tongue from the front to the back. And actually, when I did this yesterday, at about this time, I started noticing that I started drooling more, like I have more saliva buildup in the mouth. It's just because there's just so much flavor. My mouth doesn't know how to deal with it because it is coating the whole thing, but it's so good. I'm getting a little bit of a leather kind of flavor in here. And it's interesting, I just did a blind with the cigar blend, and I was tasting that flavor as well. So overall, the mouthfeel, the thickness, the viscosity, it covers the whole mouth. It sticks onto the side of my mouth as well, to my cheeks on the inside, and it's very good. It's still there. It's still lingering. It's still just going there, and you get that nice velvet texture. And I say velvet a lot, but I think that's the only way to really describe this. A nice velvet texture.
Velvet thunder.
Over the mouth that just sits from the front to the back. For mouthfeel, I'm gonna give that an 8.5 because that mouthfeel is probably one of the best mouthfeels I've ever had. Now, let's go for that finish. I love the way this is evolving. And you still get all those flavors, but every time I drink it, I do taste a little bit more of that oakiness. Like it's like a little bit of oakiness, but at the same time, it's kind of like a burnt feeling, like like a burnt marshmallow, almost like when you go and you burn a marshmallow over a fire pit and then you put that burnt flavor in your mouth. I kind of have the burnt flavor. It's a good burnt flavor because it's burnt but sweet at the same time. You get a little bit of the caramel that you get, and you also get a little bit like a citrusy kind of flavor in it with that cinnamon in the middle, and then that vanilla's nice sweetness towards the back. For a finish, I'm also going to give this an 8.5. The last question, very important question. Would I buy this again? Now at MSRP, this is $250, and that is a lot of money. But it's a special release. It's released one time a year and it's one and done, right? Every year is completely different.
A desire never to repeat himself.
This is a hazmat version, and it's my first hazmat and I'm really enjoying it. It doesn't drink at a 140.9 proof, and I heard that a lot of those reviews, you think it's going to be very hot, and it really isn't. Only that first sip that I have that heat, but pretty quickly it's very drinkable. You can taste all the flavors, and that's what you want. You want something that you get to taste it and enjoy all the flavors, not just burn it through. So I am really enjoying this. MSRP, $250. Yes, I would buy it again at $250. Now, I don't know what secondary is on this one. I don't know how much of a secondary market there is for Garrison Brothers, but I think at most I'd probably pay for this be between $300, $325. If it goes much higher than that, if it starts going up to the $500, $600 range, I would not buy again. But $250, 100%. But because of that, because of how hard this is to get, because of what probably secondary will be on it, I have to give it a little bit of a lower score on that, because I don't think a lot of people are going to find it at that $250, which is already a pretty high price to pay for any whiskey. How do I rate that? I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10 for that. My total score for this is 44.5 out of 60. I think that's pretty much my highest score I've ever given. I had to go back and check, but I think that is. I really am enjoying this. I really am so sad I had to do this one again and taste it again so quickly. But hey, I enjoyed it just as much this time as I did yesterday. Hopefully my audio is not out, but if it is, I'll be happy to do this again. Let's talk about how you can win a sample. So first, please subscribe. Subscribe for me if you haven't, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you subscribe, I'm getting close to 1,000. I'm getting close to 1,000 subs, and at that, I'm going to do a giveaway. So if you subscribe, you will have a chance to win 1, 2, 3 E.H. Taylors, small batch rye single barrel. Yes, one person has a chance to win all 3 of these, and that could be you, but only if you subscribe. So make sure to subscribe. Next, please, if you're liking these videos, hit that like button. It really helps me. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, and it helps my videos get out there. That way I can get to that 1,000 subscribers and give those all away, right? The last thing I want you to do is comment below. I want you to comment below with the word hazmat. Have you ever had a pour of hazmat? And if so, what was it, and if you enjoyed it? If you've never had a pour of hazmat, still put hazmat in the comment and tell me what's your favorite pour, or what's the highest proof you've had, and how you enjoyed that as well. A week from now, I will randomly pick 5 winners for a 1 ounce sample of this Garrison Bros Cowboy 23. And that will happen a week from today. If you win, I will respond in a comment to your comment. I'll put that you won that comment, but I'll also have you respond back to my email. Now, I'm gonna put my email up here, oldfashionedways22@gmail.com. And I'm doing that because I'm trying to get ahead of it, where that's the only email I'll ever show you to email me back with. If anything ever comes out, that's not me.
Not me. It's just not me.
If it's not oldfashionedways22@gmail.com, it's not me. I hope you really enjoyed this review. I know I enjoyed doing it twice now. And I'd definitely be making an old fashioned out of this bad boy. So thanks again for joining me on another journey down my bourbon rabbit hole, or should I say my hazmat rabbit hole. Wishing all of you luck, and cheers my friends to our next journey.